Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pen Decker coming back to you once again live on Kung Tech Fu. Ladies and gentlemen, where we do crypto kung fu with you all day long, letting you know how to get this generational wealth. So you can see here, we've got a little bit of a new setup going on because I messed around and tried to add something to the repertoire. And for some reason or whatever, my Brave browser just decided to stop working there. So I am using a new browser here, ladies and gentlemen, because I've been having problems with Brave for quite some time. And that doesn't mean that you're going to run into problems, but it just doesn't seem to be doing the job that I needed to do. So I have learned about a new browser called the Neo browser, ladies, an AI browser, and I am very happy with it. And we're not going to talk about the Neo browser in this one, but I am going to do a separate video and a deep dive into the AI Neo browser. I am really loving it, and to tell the truth, it has really saved the day, ladies and gentlemen. I learned about the Neo browser, if my memory serves me correctly, I believe. I learned about the Neo browser from Crypto Casey, and Crypto Casey is a really great YouTuber. She has one of the best channels on YouTube. I watch her stuff all of the time, and you should also. And she's got a lot of great things going on. And ever since I've been in crypto, for going on 5 years, I've been learning a lot from her. But today, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are here to talk about how to get this generational wealth, how to outpace inflation. And like any good financial warrior that you are, we are going to need some tools, ladies and gentlemen. So the tools that we're going to need first and foremost is we need to get some tokenized gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen. And there's no other place better to do that than KINESIS Money. I've been with KINESIS Money for over 3 years. I just spoke with my agent, and he let me know it's been well over 3 years. And KINESIS Money does a wonderful job because not only do they redeem your gold or silver if you choose to have some physical gold or silver sent to you from your account, but also the gold and silver that they are holding for you, you also earn a monthly yield on it. You have an agent that you can speak with directly to address all your concerns, and basically a financial advisor when it comes to gold and silver. And on top of that, Kinesis Money is also a great crypto platform as well, where you can send in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. They've even got their own stable coin, all right, called USD1, which is basically the same name as Trump's stable coin. So I don't know how they're going to work that out. But anyway, so that's Kinesis Money. So the link for my referral link for this will be down in the description below, so that you don't. I always give my referral links because it's a win-win situation. It helps you, it helps me, it helps Kinesis. Everybody wins. And not only that, but you get safe passage through the crypto space, ladies and gentlemen. Second up on the list, we have UPHOLD. Now, UPHOLD, of course, is something that I use every day, ladies and gentlemen. UPHOLD is great because not only is it a crypto exchange, ladies and gentlemen, but it does a lot of great things. Like you can actually, we have a saying, not your keys, not your crypto, but with Uphold, I make a little bit of an exception with that because I can actually hold my money here and I can earn up to 3.75% APY on my USD balance. I can also earn on my stable coins anywhere from 4.4 to 5.4 APR on my stable coins, ladies and gentlemen. You can receive staking rewards if you want to take a look at that. Instantly stake, unstake, and also you can also use Uphold as your crypto bank, ladies and gentlemen. And unlike a bank, they do not lend your money out. If you put 20,000, 50,000, $100, whatever you put here on the platform, whether it's in USD, whether it's in stablecoin, whether it's in Bitcoin, it stays on the platform. So it's, I guess you could call it virtual self-custody, ladies and gentlemen. And I have really grown to trust Uphold. And, it's a platform, to discover important new tokens early. So anything new that comes on the market, they're always giving you notifications. You can trade crypto better. It's easy to way to buy and sell crypto. and it's just a wonderful platform, ladies and gentlemen. So we are trying something different today, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know if you noticed, and, and you most likely did, but in my last video, at the very end of the video, the soundtrack jumped off, and it struck me as funny because when I do videos on my cell phone, that's only 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I never ever, you know, uh, miss a my soundtrack, going dead. Now my laptop here has 4 times that power, so there's no way that that should be happening. So we're trying something different today. So I am literally trying a little something different. I'm being a little bold here with jumping back and forth between websites. So being that I have a direct Ethernet connections, we should be great, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, let's keep moving on. Also, MEXC, ladies and gentlemen, another great exchange that you're going to need in order to get crypto. It's another great place to get crypto. Now, it is not as sophisticated as Uphold in terms of holding your money there and this, that, and the other, but you can do a lot of great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And I use MEXC. It's like my number two. It's like my number two go-to, ladies and gentlemen. And also, you're going to need a good crypto broker, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to Caleb and Brown. Caleb and Brown is a crypto brokerage, and it is your personal crypto brokerage. They help clients to buy, swap, and sell cryptocurrencies 24/7 with human support, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, but we're going to bring back a blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to bring back Spritz Finance, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't used Spritz Finance in a few months. I used to use them religiously in the early days of crypto because there were so little places to off ramp. And now that crypto is being more widely accepted, I have a lot more options. But I'm pretty sure that they're still doing really great things, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to I still have my account with them, so I'm going to go over there and I'm going to pay some bills using my crypto with Sprints because that's what they do. You can off ramp your crypto anywhere, anytime. It is a premium crypto app for real world spending, okay? And that is spending your crypto. So when you're making money from your multiple income streams, you can come here and you can off ramp your crypto to your bank, or you can pay your bills directly, ladies and gentlemen. So you can fund your Sprints card. This looks like they have a card now. You can pay your bills with crypto, as I just said. Trusted by crypto whales, and you just go on and on. So I will also put my link for this down in the description below because, like I said, I haven't used it in a while, but it's still there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's take a look at my new dead clock, ladies and gentlemen. So I gave up the old deck clock and I got a new deck clock for you guys. I got a new look and everything. So I really like this one. I just started using it, but it gives us a realistic view of what's going on in the world today. And it also continues to let us know that we cannot outrun inflation, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to make at least an increase of 10% a year just to keep pace with inflation, ladies and gentlemen. And we know prices go up, but most times our paychecks do not, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why we're in crypto. This is why we're investing. This is why we have our own portfolio. And this is exactly why we are doing what we are doing so that we can become our own banks and we can control our own financial future. Because as fiat crumbles, as AI starts to move in and start to replace people's jobs, more and more, taking people's jobs. And then, of course, in the very near future, we have the quantum threat coming along. So, you know, instead of being afraid of those things, ladies and gentlemen, it's best to hop in and just get this thing done and be in the flow of crypto, be in the flow of AI, and be in the flow of quantum as it comes. We welcome it and we use it to our advantage, ladies and gentlemen. So there's your basics right then and there, ladies and gentlemen. And so as you can see, we're up to 38 trillion here. And you can just go and you can kind of play with this. And it's going to show you a bunch of interesting facts, ladies and gentlemen. But the most important thing that we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is to continue to earn money with our multiple income streams using the principle of compound interest, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, where do we find the money, ladies and gentlemen? And before we go any further, I just want to remind you that BTC is not Bitcoin. BTC is not Bitcoin. I'm going to say that one more time for the person in the back that didn't hear me. BTC is not Bitcoin. And I know what you guys are saying. You're thoroughly puzzled. You got a question mark over your house, over your head saying, well, how can this be? You know? Well, you have been deceived, ladies and gentlemen. It's as simple as that. And I'm not going to go all into it, but all I'm going to say is that in 2017, the narrative of Bitcoin was overtaken with BTC, and they did the old bait and switch on you. Just like the fiat dollars that you have in your pocket, your physical dollars are still green. Yeah, the dollars are still green because in 1933, when they changed the greenback system into what we have now, the fractional reserve monetary system, they kept the dollars green because they didn't tell anybody that they switched the system without even telling you. You see, so people thought that, well, the money is green, we must still be in the greenback system. Nobody get that. You did not get the memo, ladies and gentlemen. And it's the same thing here with Bitcoin. You did not get the memo when they switched the narrative of Bitcoin to BTC and still telling you that BTC is Bitcoin. It is not. And it will not survive, especially with the Genius and the Clarity Act coming, because it does not meet the definition of a mature blockchain. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go over here to Coin Market Cap because we're going to find out where is the money. And as you know, the market has been dumping lately. Everything has been in the red. There's been a complete bloodbath, ladies and gentlemen. But there are two things that have stood and defied the market gravity, ladies and gentlemen. And that, of course, is Hyperliquid, which is a great project, and Canton Coin, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm pretty sure you guys remember my video about Canton, where I pretty much probably got some people angry there, saying, especially the XRP army, saying, but I'm a member of the XRP army, so I can talk smack all I want. I basically helped to create the XRP army. I've been through the SEC battle. I've been there, screaming at Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren. I've been here, ladies and gentlemen. I am a part of the XRP army. I'm wearing my XRP hat right now. So it's not about saying, being tribal and being emotional and my coin is better and you suck and all of that nonsense and just being immature. No, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for one thing only, and that is to get the money, and we have to know where the money is. And right now, Canton has been building for over 10 years to do what XRP wanted to do. And they're still going to do it. XRP is still a great investment, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not as great as we previously thought they were going to be. And let me just give you a quick example. A quick example of that, ladies and gentlemen, is, the guy, the big, I forget the guy's name, but the guy that's big as a house, that is the representative for the Bank of International Settlement, which is the central bank of all central banks, the head, chief rock and roller of all finance in the traditional markets. He was talking about a unified ledger, that we're going to tokenize everything on a unified ledger. And then we heard it again. We heard it again from, Franklin Templeton. We heard it again from Wisdom Tree. And we continued to hear it from Larry Fink of BlackRock. Everything will be tokenized. Everything will be tokenized. So we naturally thought, especially those of us in the XRP army, we're like, hey, it's got to be XRP. Nothing else fits this description and nothing else can do it. So we were dancing in the streets, ladies and gentlemen, because we just knew that the unified ledger that they were talking about was the XRP ledger, ladies and gentlemen. Turns out, ladies and gentlemen, they were not. They were talking about this. They were talking about Canton. Canton has been made for well over 10 years. It's a layer one smart contract blockchain with configurable privacy and controls, solving for public network adoption of real world assets and TradFi institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, the network uses a two-tier consensus mechanism, allowing for unlimited horizontal scalability of the network while maintaining full smart contract interoperability across it. The global synchronizer acts as a network backbone for the ecosystem. It's a utility token, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, but I told you before and I'll tell you again. In all of crypto, there is $3.1 to $3.9 trillion. In all of crypto. That ain't, if you take everything, Bitcoin, altcoins, you take everything and you add it all up together, you get 3.1 to $3.9 trillion. In all of crypto, Canton walked in the door with their very own $6 trillion. And then they added another $4 trillion. And it's so much liquidity, ladies and gentlemen, that they are adding it in increments daily at the rate of $300 to $400 billion a day. And of course, they have quantum or quadrillions of dollars waiting in the cut. Now, how can this be, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you, because they walked in the door with partners like the DTCC, the Deposit Trust Company, and clearing company, ladies and gentlemen. They walked in with people like that. They walked in with Larry Fink. They walked in with the BIS. They walked in with the toppest dogs of the world, ladies and gentlemen, because all of that liquidity that is sitting in banks, all of that liquidity that Larry Finken was telling us was going to be tokenized is coming through the Canton network, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost. Okay? So they don't need you to buy their coin. They're not trying to get 14% of Swift's clientele within the next 5 years like Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple told us that XRP is attempting to do. That ship has sailed, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, if you're looking for where's the money, nothing I say here is financial advice. And I just want you guys to know and understand that. Please be a mature adult. Even if you're a kid, please be kind of mature if you can. And take responsibility for your own actions. And never ever invest more than you can afford to lose. So I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. I'm just a guy that lives and breathes crypto all day, every day. Okay. Sometimes even into the night, you know. So this is what we want to concentrate on, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know where the money is, this is where it is. And if you want an institutional grade wallet, ladies and gentlemen, that of course would be the Braun wallet. Now, the Braun wallet, ladies and gentlemen, is an institutional grade wallet, as I have just said, meaning you won't be walking around with a 12 or 24 word seed phrase. You won't be walking around with some Ledger Nano and, clicking buttons that you can barely see and, walking around, with your little Tangem cards and, oh, I got my little Tangem card and, your little so-called, I forget the other one that got hacked, but those days are over. Because, see, the thing is that this is made for people who are financially independent and or millionaires, billionaires, and even trillionaires. They don't walk around with 12 or 24 words that somebody could break into their house and find. You know, this is on a completely different level, ladies and gentlemen. So you should get yourself a Braun wallet because the way it works with, shards. And through the shards, that's how you will reconstruct your wallet should you use another device, ladies and gentlemen. So if somebody, finds out you're a millionaire and they want to get into your Braun wallet, they simply can't without you having to contact 2 other people. So that right there is a deterrent in and of itself, ladies and gentlemen. In other words, you don't have direct access to your wallet, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't. All right. So we're going to take a little look. If we go to YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, if they allow me to, I'm just going to go to YouTube real quick, and we're going to take a quick look at the Braun wallet. And I'll let them say it to you, because why reinvent the wheel, right? So you want to know where to get the money? This is how you get the money, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a little something about the Braun wallet. And basically it's crypto without fear, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if we can just get this thing populated correctly, we can get underway. Something strange happened there. I don't know what happened, but let's continue on, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the one we want. Crypto without fear. Let's take a look.
Freedom isn't about escape. It's about control. Clear, deliberate, uncompromising. That's what's Braun. Self-custodial wallet engineered for privacy and autonomy. Ownership shouldn't feel uncertain. It should be simple, transparent. No seed phrases. No single point of failure. Resilient recovery that works. Whatever happens. Control that never leaves your hands. For those who already live on their own terms, who choose precision over noise, independence without compromise. Braun is built for clarity, designed for confidence, and engineered for resilience. Braun. Crypto without fear.
Crypto without fear, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. And inside the Braun wallet also, I have several other people involved. Inside the wallet, they have, it's not just for Canton, it is also for your basic, your everyday EVM stuff, Polygon, Tron, Bitcoin, whatever you're doing. But they also have a billing campaign, a Canton billing campaign inside, where you can actually earn crypto based upon your particular subscription will determine how much Canton coin that you earn every day, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, let's take another quick look. Let's see if we can just go back here and see what else we can find. And let me just go back here. I'm still getting used to this browser, ladies and gentlemen, so just bear with me. And if you haven't done it already, please go down and smash that like and subscribe button. Once again, we are doing a big push, ladies and gentlemen, to get the first goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. I've had this YouTube channel for many years, but I never really pushed for subscribers. They just kind of appeared here and there, most of you guys. But now I really have to do a push for that, because we need to get monetized. And as you guys can see over here in the club, I'm experimenting with StreamYard so that we can start to get some guests on, start talking to the people that you want to hear from, start talking to all of these people about, like Arthur Hayes and Mark Yusko, and we also have a suggestion box. You can go down in the comment section and say, hey, man, you should talk to this guy. You should talk to that guy, and if we're monetized, we can get these guys on the air. We can get some cool special effects, and we can get some new equipment and all of that stuff like that. So let's do the win-win situation. You win, I win, everybody wins. Hit that like, definitely hit that subscribe button. And hey, here's, saying, hit the unlike button. I don't care, but as long as you acknowledge us in some way, YouTube will figure it out along the way, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here is a POA. And you could just go here and you can kind of look at these yourself. Like, you don't need to sit here and look at these with me. Go to YouTube and just go right on over here to Braun Wallet, and you can go and look at these for yourself. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you like that, and we're going to continue to do this thing. And when we come back, we are going to take a look at the stablecoin craze, ladies and gentlemen. And that's another reason that XRP is running into problems, and they're going to have to pivot. Like I said, still a great investment, but they're going to have to pivot because those are two things that hit XRP really hard. One was stable coins, and then out the blue comes Canton. Because people say, XRP is supposed to be the bridge neutral currency, this, that, and the other. And banks are saying, well, why would we use XRP when we can just use a stable coin with no volatility? What if XRP is $2.20 and we want to send $1 billion and XRP goes down to $1.10? Now we got half that amount. You see what I'm saying? That's a problem. Stable coins solve that problem. So that's another reason why XRP has run into some problems with its intentions of what it was really trying to be. You know what I'm saying? So and another thing that I might add is that Canton, which threw another wrench in their plans, basically put up more liquidity into cryptocurrency in 1 month than XRP, Ripple has done in 14 years, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. So, but if you want to survive with XRP, there are ways to survive with XRP. And one of those, of course, is to use the Flare network, ladies and gentlemen. So before we go, we're just going to take a quick look at that. Let's take a quick look at Flare, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you don't know about Flare, you should. And it's the blockchain for data. And I'm just going to hit you with this before I go. And this is, if you're an XRP guy, this is how you're going to survive with XRP. You're going to do it through Flare and the F assets that they provide, thus giving XRP DeFi capabilities in the form of staking and NFTs, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how you're going to survive with XRP. And that's how you're going to earn yield on your XRP, and you will never have to sell your XRP, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are down for XRP 100%, this is the vehicle that you're going to use to survive the future, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you already know this is the Pen Decker of Kung Tech Fu, doing crypto kung fu with you all day long, ladies and gentlemen. Ever reminding you to get this generational wealth, and above all, to grow, and to expand your money. That's the three things you have to do. You have to get the money, you have to grow the money, and you have to keep the money and or the crypto.